Hello and welcome back to another episode of Out of the Box Sports and Fitness. Today I'm going to continue with the open water gear that I was discussing in the last episode. Some of the other miscellaneous gear that I use in the river and for free diving. Last episode we discussed mostly the monofin, and in this episode I want to show you some of the bifins that I use. This is more for surface swimming. These are called bifins. They're made in Hawaii, and they are used by the Hawaiian lifeguards. The fin is it's a lot more fin than it looks. It's a short fin, so you can get a pretty fast kick with it. But it also it's very stiff, and the foot pockets, you can use socks or not. I mean, very comfortable and soft, but still has tremendous power transfer. I mean, and that's very solid. It also has the grooves to again for the water flow. Really like this fin. If I need to swim quickly on the surface, I'm going to get more. This will be the fastest fin that I have used up to this point, as far as surface swimming goes, and that's essentially where I'll use it the most. Now this is an interesting fin. This is called a force fin, and this fin is a multi-purpose fin. You can use this on the surface. You can use this with scuba tanks. You can use this with combat boots. You can use this jumping out of airplanes. I mean, it's going to be an all-purpose fin. With this particular fin, I don't like to wear combat boots. Not anymore, anyway. But this particular kind of booty works very well. So it's a hard sole booty. You can walk in. Part of the beauty of this fin is I can have this booty on, which has a very solid bottom, and the so I can be walking over rocks, etc., and then just as the time comes, just slip it in and strap it on, and you're good to go. This fin gives you good power transfer. I don't think it's as fast on the surface as the fin, but underwater it is really where it works the best. It gives you a really nice smooth kick, and you can actually feel the recoil of the fin as you're going underwater and doing the scissor kick. So I really do like using this fin when I want to do both a mixture of free diving or shallow water, repeated shallow water dives, and surface swimming. Especially if I'm going down the Comel River. If we're going to be going on a day where we take the length of the Comel River, there's several places where there's rapids and that type of thing, and the monofin just doesn't cut it for that type of work. This fin is the best for that. So definitely force fin, called force fin. Something to keep in mind. I find these deals on eBay quite frequently. And they do come in multiple different kind of models. This is the military model. The stiffness will vary depending on which fin you get. I also have another pair where it's more flexible, and the one that's more flexible, it's still great underwater, but you really do notice the difference on the surface. I brought these out. Mako makes some good products. This is a Mako product. Mako is a spear gun. They do spear fishing equipment, and of course all that is parallels with what I do. And this Mako is, they make the softest, most comfortable neoprene. This wetsuit that you can see behind me is a Mako wetsuit. It's made out of Yamamoto. Mako makes their products with Yamamoto neoprene, which is very soft and comfortable. And it fits so well. The interesting thing about these booties and the wetsuit behind me as well is that it has the Yamamoto neoprene, but these booties, this is a Kevlar bottom. So this bottom is actually very durable, and you can go over pretty rough surfaces with this. if it's really rocky, you're still gonna have less foot pain going over it with this harder sole. But the Kevlar makes for where you would go over some rough surfaces on a regular neoprene booty and it would get tore up. This will not. As you can see, that bottom, it's been used before, and this bottom is still in very good shape. So I thought that was pretty unusual to find a product like that with the Kevlar. Can't forget the dark fin gloves. I've been using the dark fin gloves now for probably 3 or 4 years, and they are, if you're a latex allergy, you can't use them. So you can cross them off right away if you have a latex allergy. But if you do not, in the open water, they give you the webbing, they give you the dexterity as if you're not wearing a glove. So picking up items gives you some hand protection, gives you some thermal protection. But what I like about them most is it's like having a fin on your hand, and the amount of power you can get from these webbings when you do a pull is tremendous. Much more power with a crawl type stroke, and much more speed. So I'm a big fan of the dark fin gloves. And they supposedly had gone out of business like last year, and so I went and bought a couple extra pair because I think it was more of a false alarm, because they are still in business and they're still selling these. And something that you can find if you go on search dark fin on the internet, you'll find their products. They also make some booties, and they make some other open finger gloves and a couple other items. But this is what I like, is their web glove. If you do decide to get something like this, you do have to measure your hands to make sure that you get the proper size, because they do have various sizes. This is the mask that I use exclusively now, which is the IST Pro Ear mask. It has the cuffs. I did a review on this mask a while back, so I won't go over it too much, but these cuffs really do help with slow ears when you're free diving, shallow water, 20 feet in that range, where I have a slow left ear, maybe sometimes have to really bear down to get a Valsalva, which makes the dive shorter. It uses up a lot of energy and a lot of oxygen. What this does is it equalizes the pressure and the mask and the ear. So the pressure in the ear as you dive it's still increasing, but it's not as increasing as dramatically. And as a result, it does become easier. The Valsalva is easier. Sometimes it turns a Valsalva into just a swallow to clear that ear. Again, that I reviewed it in more detail. If you look for that video for the Pro Ear review, it's on my YouTube channel here. This is a Cressy snorkel, and the reason why I bring these out is it's a soft snorkel. And as you know, when you monofin swim, when you have the technique, when you're correctly doing the technique, your arms press up. Now with the ear cuffs, that becomes an issue, but I work around it. But when you have the snorkel up against it, instead of having a hard snorkel pressing into your head, you're actually pressing on the snorkel, and it compresses, and it doesn't give you any pain. It's not digging into your forehead as a ordinary hard plastic snorkel would. So like those, I like the Omar the best. That's my favorite soft snorkel, and I like it because of the tip. It helps when my wife and I are out there. We actually do see these orange tips when we get separated some distance, and it does help quite a bit. And I think the Omar it's more comfortable mouthpiece for me, and I think it's actually just a little more pliable than the Cressy. So the reason why I have the Cressy on now is because I lost my first Omar a couple of weeks ago, and now I've got a new one, so I'll be switching back to the Omar. This is the type of scuba tool that I prefer to use, or when I'm in the water, in the river, because it is a flat blade. I prefer flat blade because you can dig with it, and having a knife with a grip, it comes in real handy. I have had to use it a few times for getting tangled up in fishing line. you do encounter some fishing line every once in a while, and sometimes you have people that are throwing fishing lines in on the river that you don't see it or what have you, whatever the case may be, and this comes in real handy. So, you know, multi-purpose diving tool has you can use this to bang out whatever I'm thinking in an automobile you can definitely bang out the glass to you know, if you had a submerged vehicle, this is what you would use to bang that out. I'm sure it has some other uses as well. But this Scuba Max, really nice dive tool, and I really enjoy using that. I just wanted to thank you for joining me for another episode of Out of the Box Sports and Fitness, and that pretty much wraps up this spear diving, open water swimming, dynamic apnea gear talk. Please let me know if you have any questions. If you want any further information, I'd be more than happy to share with what I know with you. And I really thank you for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see you next time. This is Bill McLean saying to y'all, have a great day.